Welcome to Trippy Commentaries. I'm RJ joining up with Mike.
Yo.
And K-Mac.
Yo, what's going on, everybody?
We have some crazy news leading up to this year's Super Bowl between the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks, the defending champions. The Patriots are at it again. K-Mac, what's going on here with the footballs that were in the AFC Championship game?
Good old DeflateGate. Indianapolis is claiming that the balls were, in fact, deflated. They were not pumped up to the correct PSI that they were supposed to be. And we heard some news today that the Ravens actually ratted out the Patriots on this. Word came from the Ravens. They told the Colts that this possibly could happen. And sure enough, it comes out that now it's looking like this pretty much happened, RJ. And I'm kind of interested to hear your take on do you really think this is something that the Patriots should be punished for?
Yeah, I think they definitely should be punished. I know that it seems like it's not completely in the hands of some guys that matter, but at the end of the day, Tom Brady has the last say on these footballs, and the home team, from what I'm hearing, is in charge of it. In these cases, the New England Patriots were certainly the home team. Now, the thing that made this so crazy today, and the reason why it's been so big in the news, is the two press conferences. First, by Bill Belichick, who notoriously does not really give too much at all. He doesn't say or give us any information that we're not expecting. In this case, he really came off differently, and he almost put it all on Tom Brady's lap, almost to make us expect that Tom Brady was going to give us some really crazy or new information. When Tom Brady came out, he just played the role of, hey, I do the same thing every time. He was a little bit back and forth in some scenarios. He started off saying that the footballs, man, he knows exactly how he wants them. But then later on, probably about 5 minutes, he was talking about how, hey, I just grab the ball and throw it right away. That's about the gist of it. I'm not really checking it out too much. So that doesn't make too much sense. Nonetheless, Tom Brady came out. He kind of had an actor's look to him to me. In fact, he was reaching for his ear a lot. Perhaps he was even mic'd up or had something going on there. What'd you take from the two press conferences? Bill Belichick, I mean, that was crazy. That was really something I've never seen from him. And Tom Brady, did you think he was actually genuine at the press conference?
No, I think these guys are completely guilty. My spin on this whole thing is that, yes, they probably did do this to be able to compensate for the rain. I'm sure a lot of teams might probably do this. We heard Brad Johnson from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Super Bowl season that they had, actually came out in the media and said that he used to pay the ball boys to scuff the balls up a little bit before the game because he didn't like using brand new balls. Now, I look at this and I'm like, from being somebody that did play, obviously I was a quarterback, so I was very picky myself on the balls, and this is a weird rule in the NFL. I don't really totally agree with it. When you play high school football, you play college football, you bring your own balls to the game, and you really can have them inflated as much as you want. There is a minimum that you must meet, but even at the same time, you have control over the balls you use, and for some reason the NFL wants to control everything. They don't let these teams have the balls the way that they want them. And to me, it doesn't make sense because, this game's about the offense. The offense is using the ball. They're moving the ball. They practice all week long. They have balls a certain way. It really should be up to these offenses to control and say what kind of balls they want. We heard earlier in this week on Twitter, kickers coming out of the woodwork. Graham Gano comes out on Twitter saying that, look, this has happened a couple times this season already where they had the balls checked, and throughout the game, the balls became deflated. And kickers hate deflated footballs. They want that ball to be as pumped up as possible because that's how they can kick it far. So they complain to the refs, and the refs say, look, there's nothing we can do. All of these balls are checked pre-game. They're checked inside. So it could be cold outside. So when the balls come out, balls are getting used, they start losing some air. And to me, this is just something that's very nitpicky. It reminds me kind of like in baseball when a pitcher has a little bit of pine tar or something to get a little better grip on the ball. It's kind of a stupid rule. I think it needs to be changed. But nevertheless, the Patriots, they did do something wrong. They did cheat. And I want to know what the penalty is going to be now for the Patriots coming up for this Super Bowl.
Yeah, from the 2 interviews, we don't know who's the guilty party. You'd think that it probably has a lot to do with Tom Brady. Now, I come from a family that is all from New England, all from Boston and the surrounding states, surrounding areas, and they are kind of distraught about this. So when you had this in the news today, first with the Belichick interview, my phone was just blowing up with them texting me, wow, I've never seen him like this, and I cannot wait to see what Tom Brady's going to say. This is unbelievable. Sure enough, Brady comes out, and pretty much nobody's believing the guy, even the New England Patriots fans. At this point, they're all coming to grasp that they just want to win. The Patriots are they're just doing whatever they can to win the game, going as far as to deflate the balls to give them the advantage. It's really an intriguing situation.
Yeah, and look, RJ, that really had no outcome. It didn't change the outcome in this game. Look, I mean, the Patriots ran all over this horrible Indianapolis defense. I really felt because of Andrew Luck, this team is where it's at. They need to make a lot of improvements on defense. I felt the Patriots kind of had their way with this Colts team all game long. And honestly, I don't think the balls being a little deflated had any change in the outcome of this game.
Yeah, I agree. Mike, now we know that they had 11 of 12 balls confirmed under the actual PSI limit that they have that is official. It's like a 1 PSI range, and it was well under that range. Do you think that they should be stripped a draft pick? They can't be really... they've already come out and said that they're not going to continue the investigation until after the Super Bowl, so they really can't touch them leading up to the Super Bowl.
Right.
What would you do to them? Are they really guilty in this scenario?
Yeah, like you said, they can't really touch them up to the Super Bowl here, and neither do they want to. You know, they sort of want to leave it alone until it's done. But you know, really, I think we're going to see them, like you said, stripped of a draft pick. You know, it doesn't really matter since they sort of have a late pick anyways.
Yeah.
But still, that's a big thing, and I think we're going to see something else. You know, maybe in terms of money and some other things, I'm sure. So should be interesting to see what comes out of this, what kind of penalties. But,
Kyle, what are you predicting, K-Mac?
I don't know, man. I mean, I think, you know, much like the old Tuck rule of Tom Brady, how something happened and it actually changed a rule. I think there's going to be enough discussion here. I think the Players Union is going to really push to say, look, this really shouldn't be this way. It really shouldn't be to the point where we're going to go ahead and penalize a team because they're trying to better their playing, you know, their selves on the field. Now, you know, both teams have the same opportunity to adjust the balls how they want. That's how it needs to be. It needs to be where, look, I'm an offensive team. I have the ball. I need to play with my ball that I like to use the way I want to use it because that's how it's going to help me excel on the field. You take that away, I mean, it's just kind of, I don't know. It's like I said, in baseball, you have some guys that are trying to get an edge with using pine tar, which is still illegal, but it's kind of one of those things like, hey, it's illegal, but everyone's doing it. You know, it's just one of those things that really needs to be looked at and be like, look, should we really be controlling this much of the game? Should the game get to this point? Because like I said, in college and high school, it's really not that way. Each team supplies the ball. They can kind of have the balls the way they want to. If they want to have a scuffed up ball, they can do that. So this is something I think that needs to be looked at. As far as the Patriots, I mean, a lot of people are saying draft picks. It'd be kind of hard for me as the league to take away like a number 1 or number 2 draft pick for a team for possibly deflating the ball throughout the game or doing it before the game. In a game that it didn't really make that big of a difference on the outcome.
I'm wondering how they are actually deflating the ball itself. I mean, does Tom Brady have a tiny pin? Is he letting a little bit of air? Also, these are big guys, so I'm wondering, a center, if he pushes down on the ball hard enough, will that maybe deflate it just a little bit?
Yeah, RJ. The kickers, too, I don't know if you ever noticed, the kickers, when they're kicking off, I mean, they are driving the ball into the ground because they hate when the balls are really pointy at the ends, so they kind of like to round them off. Dude, those kickers are sitting there jamming that ball in the ground to really push the ends in. So that's another thing. They could be deflating the ball throughout the game.
Yeah.
That's why I wonder what's going on. Now, you'd hate to hear that Tom Brady has some sort of little pin or some sort of device, because that would involve bringing something onto the field that you're not allowed to have.
Right.
Definitely an interesting situation, and it's good that they're getting it out of the way before the big hype week of Super Bowl. We do have media day, and I'm sure they're going to ask Tom Brady all kinds of questions. He's just going to be running into a beehive on media day and the whole week-long lead-up to the Super Bowl. All of a sudden, this is going to be all about if the Patriots are cheating once again. The problem with these guys is they are already found guilty once. And for the fans of the New England Patriots, I know this is a bit of a pain in the ass, because that stigmata is not going to go away now. It's officially there.
Yeah, definitely.
And the thing for the Patriots is this is a big Super Bowl. They've lost 2 in a row. You cannot lose 3 in a row. Are you going to go, win your first 3, follow it up with losing your last 3, and probably going out as losers of the last 3 Super Bowls in a row, almost to Buffalo Bill status? We'll see what happens. This is definitely going to be one of the biggest Super Bowls. I feel like because this is a battle between the 2 #1 teams, it's that one Super Bowl where they are the definitive best teams in the NFL, a heavyweight battle. The Seattle Seahawks have some kind of magic going on, something. The New England Patriots are clearly the best team in the AFC. I don't know if deflating the ball helped them get there. I do think that it probably is better for the running backs. LeGarrette Blount, we saw him get interviewed in the locker rooms. You'd think that it'd be easier to grip and you're less likely to fumble, especially in a rainy game. So I don't think he's going to come out and say anything. They destroyed Indianapolis, so they clearly deserve to be in the Super Bowl regardless. K-Mac, do you think the Seattle Seahawks have something to be worried about? I mean, they might be going against some guys who are up to some shady things. This is a big game.
Hey man, I mean, we don't even know ourselves if the Seahawks have ever pulled this off. I mean, really it was because of an inside tip that this was possibly going on that Indianapolis actually said something and started the investigation. So. Yeah. Hey, who knows? Maybe Pete Carroll's a fan of deflating footballs, and maybe he's like, hey, if it's raining, let's all deflate footballs and just make it a better game. So I don't think Seattle's really too worried about it. They probably laugh at this and just they might want to try to use this as motivation. They think that, the Patriots are going to be consumed with this all week during interviews, and they can kind of relax a little bit. So maybe it kind of gives Seahawks a little bit of advantage going into the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we'll be bringing you guys a Super Bowl preview. We'll give you all of our predictions. We'll have the entire crew here to talk about probably the biggest Super Bowl in the last 5 years. This is such a huge game. The fact that the Seattle Seahawks were able to make it through the season and actually get to this game to defend that championship, it's been a while since we've seen it. And I think we are ready for an epic game. It's going to come right down to the end. And I still have to think about who I actually am going to pick to win this game. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to Trippy Commentaries. We'll bring you great sports coverage on all of the big events in football and other sports. We'll see you guys as we get closer to the Super Bowl. I'm RJ for Mike and K-Mac. Stay tuned, guys, and stay trippy. Later.